Alright, so my second portion of my module is going to focus on EDA. What is it? Exactly what it sounds like, exploring data. So it's understanding your data. It's supposed to make your life easier, your workload easier, and in the future by showing you what's going on with your data. So for example, like how reasonable are the relationships among your variables? Are there any outliers, confounding variables, scaling anomalies, missing data? So so many different things you can look at with EDA, but the goal is to find all of this before you sit down to formally analyze your actual data. So this data set is of 155 participants who all have intellectual disabilities, pervasive developmental disorders, and so this is of the A sharp, so it measures aggression and hostility in whether it's reactive or proactive, so who provokes it. So the first, like these guys, these variables are all of the subscale scores. I have verbal aggression problem, verbal aggression provocation, physical aggression problem, physical aggression provocation, bullying problems, and then the rest of the 100 and something variables are the scores of the item, all of the values for every item on that measure. So what I decided to look at was physical aggression and bullying problems. So I have 155 sample size, which seems right. And then I also go away. I also have the mean and the median, and I can look at this to see how far away they are from each other, which might tell me that there's an outlier. And I'm already looking at this and I see the mode, so it's like the most chosen score, not necessarily chosen, but most scored, and that's 0, which would mean an absence of a problem whatsoever. And I can already tell from looking at this that the data might be a little skewed. So the physical aggression problem, 30 people didn't score anything on any of the items measuring for physical aggression, and that's almost 20% of our sample. The highest one, the spread is huge. So here's 29, and so one person scored something on 20. I don't know what those individual scores are. Of course, I can find them out. On those 29 items, or 29, there's more than that, but 29 items, and that represents 0.6% of our data. It's cool because I can look at this quickly and be like, okay, well, 50% of our sample, which is 12 plus 13 plus whatever, have a low physical aggression problem. And then bullying, same thing. So one person scored something on 17 items, which is 0.6%. 44 people scored nothing on any of the bullying items on our measure. So looking at the histogram, it's exactly what I kind of predicted it to be. We have that one person that scored 29, that's probably over here. And then we have the 30 people that scored nothing for physical aggression. But this histogram shows us about how our data looks against a normal distribution. And obviously it's not a normal distribution whatsoever. Bullying problem, again, it's not a normal distribution. There's researchers that are like, well, I'd argue, and it's like, no, I don't think so. So we had that one person that scored a 17, and then we had 40-something people that scored a 0. So with a data set this large, it's always nice to run. I can't imagine looking at just the frequency tables for more than just 2 variables. My head would explode. So I definitely think that the histograms are really helpful and really worthwhile to better understand your data. If I want to see how far away my data are from the norm, so here we have the physical aggression, and we have a departure over here, departure. It goes to say, support my feeling of this isn't a normal distribution whatsoever. So yeah, clearly we have this guy that's might be on the line, but not really. So all the scores deviate from the norm. And this detrended plot tells us the differences from kind of like best fit, the line of best fit, but the differences between this point and the line, or the other dot. So we have this huge departure from our line, and it corresponds really well with this massive departure from the norm up there. So it shows us more in depth of how far away we are from the norm. This guy, it's kind of the same thing. Both of our histograms are skewed, and we can see this pattern here. We're still deviated from the norm way up here. We have a linear pattern, and it goes to show again that we are pretty far away from the norm. So I mean, the implications are I definitely want to look further, even more so on the item level, to better understand how this happened. Not necessarily why, but just, understand more what I'm looking at. It would be cool if I could do a multiple regression to see if verbal aggression may predict scores on physical aggression or bullying or things like that. If even physical provocation has anything to do with bullying. So again, this data set is really rich and informative, and I would really like to do this, and this is the adult hostility scale, but perhaps even if it's valid. This is a new scale, it hasn't been used a lot, so if I could run a couple concurrent validity tests with this A-sharp and then also other behavior measurements such as the BPI, the QABF, to see if it holds true, that would be awesome. So yeah, that was my module 3. I guys have a great summer and a great end to your semester. Good luck with everything. Thank you for all you did, and have